Good morning. Okay, so thank you for, no, it is definitely worth waiting, and we can do it, I mean,
Usually it's fine.
no, we're good. Appreciate everybody being here. So we're all at a good spot. We will go ahead and call this meeting of the Clarksburg Urban Renewal Authority to order.
Roll call upon arrival.
Okay, and the meeting minutes were emailed and are before you from the October 12th, 2023 meeting. Does anybody have any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the October 12th minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any public comments? Nice to see people here, not just have an empty gallery. Anybody like to say anything? No? Okay. Mr. Executive Director.
Amy, I do. This is Jamie. If you just take a minute and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Engel. I'm one of 3 other partners that recently purchased the Empire building. We're excited to be here, and we see a lot of opportunity here in the city. So we're looking forward to working with the city, and the people that we've already worked with already have been super helpful. Everybody, here, as well as the citizens have been really helpful to us so far. Very inviting. So we're really excited to be here and try to transform the Empire, keep the history there, but transform the Empire into something that is desirable and that people want to frequent. So
Appreciate you here.
yeah, absolutely.
My apology for calling you Jamie.
No, it's Jeremy with a G.
Here. Quick question.
Sorry.
Nesting Owl's address, Because I see different.
1226 for Hickey or?
Are you in
12?
Maryland or Tennessee?
I'm in Tennessee.
So
So Clint
it's
Athey, our partner, he's a CPA. He's in Oakland, Maryland.
okay, so this it's each of your
Yeah, there's
addresses.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the 4 partners, 3 of the 4 were U.S. veterans, and 2 of us are from West Virginia. So the West Virginia graduates too.
Nice.
Welcome to
Thank you.
Clarksburg.
Nice to meet you. Anything else? All right, you're up, John.
Good morning. Not much to report today. The information that we had some computer issues, so that did delay how some of this information came to us to be able to provide to you. So that's one of the reasons things were a little, I would say, no, not necessarily broken, but disjointed. We are finding a little bit of difficulty in completing these packets the day before a council meeting. What I'm going to do is at the announcement section, we're going to probably just discuss, or we could discuss it now, just when we could have a URA workshop just to discuss the next fiscal year's budget, desires for the board, the authority, and then being able to make sure we're getting you information correctly in a manner, in a sequence that will make sense. So possibly backing up our timelines of when applications will be permitted to be dropped off or accepted.
Why don't we just, I mean, I think let's discuss that after the new business because it all may take care of itself. Actually, we may end up having an easy time to have a workshop, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions for John? Okay, Kim.
Which is actually the same as last month. Just updating you on the budget line items for the URA. So in the facade grant, we still have about $14,500, and there's been no expenditures yet out of the Historic Internal Repairs Fund or the Land Reuse Agency. So the balances are there: $55,000 in the URA Historic Structure Internal Repairs Fund and $20,000 in the Land Reuse.
So for clarification, I have talked to Kim. When we do a budget revision with council, these 2 amounts, this would be 75 altogether. I made a recommendation in that budget to roll some of that over into the facade grant program and some of it actually into the land bank to fund the land bank. So that will be coming forward to council. Once council has that information and it goes to council for a vote, then this will be updated for this committee.
Good. Okay, I do have a question. This remaining balance is different than the remaining balance we have in our
Is that I have not taken off anything that is to be approved today.
It's not, we have a different amount in what we can approve today versus what's on here. You have us with 14,000 remaining.
So there is 10,000 that has been allocated for 250 Monticello Avenue that hasn't
been. Okay, so
haven't
this is,
finalized the agreement for that yet.
okay, so that's, okay.
So
Just
it
wanted to
hasn't
make,
made its way down to us.
just want to make sure, because
Okay.
that's going to make a
Sorry
difference
about
in what
that.
we do today. And okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so 10,000 of that has been allocated, so what we have free to use is $4,594.96.
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay. Thank you. Any unfinished business? Then how about new business? We have one facade grant application.
Okay, so on November 1st, Clint Athey on behalf of Nesting Out LLC submitted an application. It actually come to our systems earlier. We've been having some email phishing attempts that have really beefed up our IT, that has made obtaining applications that are attached to emails a little tricky, but we've hopefully gotten that straightened out. The application was a previous format and did not include information related to the $5,000 maximum funding awards for building owners The applicant was made aware of the competitive nature of the grant, the reduced grant awards under the third amended program guidelines, that's $5,000 maximum in this case, and the reduced funding currently budgeted for facade grants. Nesting Out LLC is seeking URA facade grant funds for the installation of new exterior accent lighting for 400 West Main Street. That's the Empire Bank Building, National Bank Building. It's tax map 18, parcel 108. Total project cost $22,000. The proposed applicant contribution is $17,000. The requested award was $10,000, but staff is showing it as $5,000 based on the program guidelines and the discussion with the applicant. The recommendation that we're providing at this time is that the application materials required for determination in accordance with the Third Amendment to the Clarksburg Urban Renewal Authority Second Amendment and restated policy guidelines are presented in the application materials. Staff recommends approval of the facade grant application in the amount of $4,594.96 as the building is located in the program area, meets use of funds criteria, facilitates use of a vacant building in the central business district in the city of Clarksburg, and is the maximum amount that can be awarded with existing funds. The application materials are then provided after the staff report and the applicants here, or a representative from Nesting LLC.
And I think it's important to know, even though part of the building is empty, one of our criteria is it being used, and it is being used. There are already tenants in there. It is already being used for the community. I just want to make sure that we make that clear, because that's been.
You actually, because
Yeah.
that is MVB Bank
Yes,
would
it's
be an
already
active
there.
tenant, so that
Yes, so I think that
would qualify
covers-
them. Yeah.
Yep, I think that covers some of that question we've had before with people. So are there any?
The only discussion I would have is the fund is slightly deficient. So I was wondering if we could put in the resolution to approve for whatever's remaining, and then whatever they're asking for that's not in the fund, that we put in the resolution, it's approved based on approval by council. So that when council, the revision comes to them, if it's approved, then they would get that remaining balance to bring them up to the threshold.
As long as you as city manager are comfortable with wording it that way, I think that's a great way to do it, because you can only apply once. So then if the money does come back from city council, that means they'd make up to the full 5,000.
So in which case that would be 405
405.
Yeah.
and 4 cents.
Would you like to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so we will approve the entire amount pending additional funding coming to this board. At a minimum, you get what's left in our coffers, and at best, you will get the remaining. And it may be in 2 different checks, but when that money comes over, this would be the first piece that comes out. And we don't need additional approval or additional discussion. It will just automatically come out of there. Okay. Thank you for a thorough application. Having everything there, that makes life a lot easier. Okay, so we are at the moment out of funding, and we are needing a workshop. Would next month, our regular meeting time, be a good time for a workshop? Because I'm not sure when council's very busy. I don't know when this money's going to come over, and it seems like it would be good for us to keep going forward with what we're doing.
Shouldn't be too much longer.
Okay. So would you all be okay with us continuing with the December
The only
meeting?
question I have is for you, because I know that your job, you come here, then you have people that you meet with afterwards. Is it something that we want to do in the morning? Or is it something that we would make an amendment to do like later in the evening, which may create some overtime or whatever, but later in the day for you? Would that way, if we keep talking, we're not backing you up?
Yeah, I'm fine with whatever the members want to do. I think the more members we can get here, the better.
My
The evenings are
preferences
busy.
are like in the morning. then I can have staff there.
Good enough then, not a problem.
So we could allot,
I don't think it's gonna take that long because we've done a big chunk of the work already
Oh,
with
yeah.
the, well, we redid the
did the
bylaws and
bylaws.
stuff already. So I think this is some more of the logistical things, but I don't think it's gonna take a super long time.
No, for the budgeting process, I mean, just getting ideas of what you want to do, it's
So do
more
we
of a
wanna-
conversation
So do we want to just say block 2 hours?
at max.
Yeah, at the most.
yeah, I would say if we reserve this room from 8 to
10.
10, that should be, so we're reserving the space so we can come in and do it at our leisure. That would be fine. Thank you for considering my schedule.
Thank you.
And does it work okay with your grandbaby? Because I know
I'm going to make a motion that she's a half voting member. How's that work?
that would be fun. We can just
Full
pass
voting
it around
member.
and all get good vibes.
We're
We
all-
can do that.
We're
That's
always
okay.
together, so you got to have a vote.
Yeah, we can
She's
just,
gonna hang out in my office.
she can just come and hang
In
out.
my office.
I didn't understand that. That's not a conflict of interest, Abby. You're not
Yeah.
wanting to influence my granddaughter. Okay, good.
Okay, so our December meeting, and so if people do make applications,
Well, so staff has been working with 2 applicants. One, the prior Gutter Works applicant. It's been tricky to get that application to a standard that you can review, that staff is comfortable with. We can discuss with them that given the funding, both with the existing applicants, staff will tell them that given current funding, we're anticipating no new awards until after the calendar year begins, until January at the earliest. And that we can accept applications, but we can also recommend that we postpone action on them until funds are awarded.
well, and I think we suspend some of that timeline because we're the ones making the extension. Basically, we're putting off, that's 30 days that we're kind of putting off. So I think we understand that. I think with the holidays, people in and out, I mean, you've got Friday off and you've got Thanksgiving. I think it would make sense. Yes.
With that, you see, we have 2 applications that we'll call them outstanding.
One is
We have
outstanding, one is
They're
still
in
being
process.
drafted.
Well, what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is that how much do those total?
The one would be for 10,000. Well, the one would be for 5,000. The other one would be for 2,500. So $7,500 total.
Okay, we just wanted to have an idea when council was looking at moving some of this money
Yeah.
over. And then I have also 1 to 2 applications. One would be for 2,500 and one would be for 5,000.
There would be enough to cover all
So-
4 of those with the revision that I'm suggesting.
Yes, and I think letting it go till January allows everybody to have a little breathing room. It's more realistic for the applicants,
Well-
allows them to budget and plan a little bit better.
I understand that businesses need money, but one of my sticking points on here has always been, it should be right on the application. This application may take 60 days or 90 days to approve, to give us time to work through all of the things. Now, moving forward, maybe we've got some of the bugs out, but we need to get out of that mindset. If you apply today, it's going to be next month and you'll have a check. Just to give us some room in case of technicalities, we're short on, if we're short on voting members, that type of thing.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If I get a request for an extension because of extenuating circumstances with supplies or workforce issues, does that have to come here for an extension, or is that something that, because it's been approved,
It's
You
supposed to come here. The bylaws say that an extension can occur with URA approval. I don't know why we wouldn't approve it, but they're supposed to come
okay,
here.
Mr. Politano submitted a request for an extension. It came in earlier this week
yeah,
for his project.
I mean, and that's something, if you have the paperwork for that, we can.
I have it on an email, and I'm comfortable with the extension. There's legitimate reasons behind it. John, do you have the email?
Yes. Basically, the issue it's paint, and with the temperature falling, being able to do paint work is going to be limited.
Yeah.
And I think that's the other thing that and I don't know how you do that, paying attention, because we've got people that will be applying January, February months, and there's just work that You
And
might
I-
want to do that can't.
I think how
happen.
we mitigate that is if we know what the project is and we know if they're applying in January, we should put right into the resolution right off the bat. You have until this date to complete it because of the weather.
I don't know if that takes an amendment, the way it's written in our bylaws, there is a set time and then you can apply for an extension. Can we just write that in the agreement?
I have it with me, and the language is crucial to be able to answer your question.
So will you
Okay.
follow up on that?
Absolutely.
And just
Thank
like,
you.
because I think that would be a better way to do it than,
It's very proactive.
yes, I think we'd rather be proactive than not.
So, okay, so staff will, with regards to the December meeting, then we will have that
That
request
to
for an
vote.
extension, but immediately following the meeting, then we'll have the workshop.
I think that would be good. And are you open to if there are any, I would like to really keep this focused. We sometimes can go off on tangents. So I would like members to submit to you any agenda items.
Yeah.
So that we don't go this, I know we've all got interests but I would like to keep it fairly structured.
And
So,
that's why I blocked 2 hours.
yeah, so put your agenda items on there and maybe if you could give us an idea in the next week or so of what you as the
Yeah.
director are wanting us to cover, then we can know if it's appropriate what we're wanting to put on the
Okay,
agenda.
yeah,
for
so I'll
this
send out
meeting.
a draft agenda next week, the end of next week, and we can build it from there.
Thank you.
I like that idea. Okay, are there any announcements? Any other business before this board? Then I will take a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
Tiffany first. Brian second. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned until, let me make sure which date we're talking about. So we will be December 4th, 8:15.